Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something super fun and I'm going to be editing your photos. So last night on my Instagram story, I posted for you guys to send me your unedited photos and I would edit them in my style. And I actually already did some of them, so check that out on my Instagram story if you haven't already. But I thought it would be fun to do a few in kind of like a video so you guys could watch me edit your photos. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm just gonna do a few of photos that were sent to me today. So let's get on with it. Cue the intro. Okay, so the first photo that we're going to do comes from Juliet of Amethyst AG _. So let's go ahead and save her nice photo of McKenna that she has here. And it's just a nice simple portrait, not much for me to edit in the background, so I think that we're going to find a new backdrop to put her on. So I'm going to go ahead, this is kind of like my archive of backdrops and overlays, and I'm gonna find something to put her in. So it's just a nice little, I should have planned this stuff before I started filming, you guys, but it's okay. So let's see what we have here. Okay, I'm back and I figured out what I'm gonna do with this photo. So here is a nice backdrop called Mystic Flower Field. If you guys are wondering where I get my backdrops from, I mostly buy them from Etsy. So yeah, okay, now we're gonna make our way into Photoshop here. I'm gonna exit out of this one that I did before here. I already posted that one, and that one I actually really liked. It was so nice. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and open up our backdrop that I just found. My thing here has become a big mess because of all these edits I've been doing. Okay, so when I first start an edit, I like to adjust the cropping, make sure it's a 3x2 because that's like the nice size for Instagram, and then if I need to, I do any blurring that I need to do, but this one, as you can see, is pretty much blurred anyway, so it looks pretty good. So now we can go ahead and open up her nice photo of McKenna that she took. And we're going to cut her out. So in Photoshop, I like to use this tool, the quick selection, actually the object selection tool. And it might be a little bit hard because of the fence back here, but we'll see how good of a job it does. Just takes a minute to load. See? And it actually did a really super clean job. Like, I'm pretty happy with that. We're gonna refine the hair, so, oh no, it doesn't look too good. So instead, we'll shift the edges a little bit. And you can just see down here by her hand that there was still a little bit in there, so that's okay. We can go ahead and just clean that up a little bit. Gonna smooth it out. We're gonna feather it out like this. That looks pretty good. And then we're gonna go ahead and move Miss McKenna onto the flower field. And Instagram really like destroyed the quality of all the photos that everybody sent me. Like, you can see it got really pixelated, and I'm sure that's not how it originally looked. Everybody's photos really looked like that, but it's okay. We're gonna work with it. We'll just make her a little bit smaller so you can't really tell. Okay. The next step here is to make her look like she's in there. So I'm going to go ahead and make a duplicate of the background layer so that I can really bury her in there. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and adjust all of her lighting and coloring. So we're going to go into curves and use this little tool to adjust her lighting. Oh, sorry, my bad. I'll make that a clipping mask first, so it's just of her. And we're going to adjust her lighting and make her nice and bright because the sun is on her. Then we'll go to brightness and contrast, do the same thing, try to match it to the photo, adjust the contrast a little bit. Actually, I think we'll turn the contrast a little bit down in this one. And then we'll go to the exposure here, and we'll do the same thing. Not too much because I don't want to make her too bright. Change our offset, and our gamma correction. and just kind of make it look like she's really there. And then we're going to go to vibrant, which is really important as well to match her coloring. So the photo was a little bit cold, so this background is really warm, so we gotta fix that. There we go. So now it's looking a lot better. We can see if we take off all of what I just did, we went from this to this, and it looks like a lot better, like she's really there. So we're gonna go ahead and merge those clipping masks, and from there we are going to take this background duplicate and move it on top of the cutout of McKenna, and now we can see that it got rid of her. So we're going to go ahead and erase her back in, just like this. And you guys, this probably doesn't make any sense to you guys right now, but you will see what I'm doing makes sense. And I kind of like how the flowers kind of got over her a little bit there, and the sun. That's kind of what I'm looking for, is to really get the flowers and everything over her. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep messing with that till I'm happy with how many flowers are over her. Same with over here. She's gotta look like she's really in there. And same with the sun. I want the sun to be on her beautiful hair. There. And so if we go before, after, it really is starting to look like she's in there. So then we're going to go ahead and flatten the image and make a new layer. And next is one of the most crucial steps, and that's dodging and burning. And dodging is brightening things, burning is darkening things. So I'm going to go ahead with the dodging tool right now, and I'm going to lighten her eyes so that they are really reflective, just like so. Okay, I really like to do that with the doll's eyes. Okay, then from over here, I'm going to make this brush a little bit bigger, actually a lot bigger, and we're going to go ahead and brighten over here because there's sun on her. Brighten over here too, there's just so much sun. We'll brighten that side of her face, and then we're going to go ahead and go to the burning tool and burn down here and this side because there is not a light source on that side. Okay, actually don't like how that looked over her eyes, so I'm gonna kind of undo that. Yeah, just kind of do it over there and down there. Okay, that looks great. So I will go ahead and merge that. Okay, now I'm gonna make a new layer. I like to keep it organized by merging my layers as I go. And I'm going to go to backdrops and overlays, my little file over here, and find a nice sun overlay. So let's see what I got here. Not that, it's a little bit too much. This is just kind of where I keep all my stuff here. So we'll use this one. It's going to come over here. We're going to drag it on top of this photo, just like this, and we're going to put it right there, I think. Well, I'm going to just kind of stretch it out over the photo like this with our transform tool, just so that there's no harsh lines. Okay, from there we're going to change the blending mode on this. I gotta let Photoshop catch up. Okay, so we're going to change the blending mode to screen. And we're going to go ahead and turn the opacity down a little bit and the fill opacity down. But it's really nice because we went from there being like no light rays on her to some nice light rays. Alright, so then we're going to go ahead and merge that. So we're actually almost done with this picture. The next thing that I like to do is we're going to go to Filter, Blur Gallery, Tilt Shift. And we're just going to kind of do a little bit of blurring in the front here, just to kind of pull it together and make it look like she's really there. So I'm going to kind of bring it down, and we're going to do a little bit of a blur, add some light bokeh like that, so you can kind of see the lights, and kind of change the color of it like that. So that looks really good, just like that. So So before and after, that looks really nice, and we'll go ahead and merge that. Alright, the last thing I like to do is create another layer. Go to filter, blur, and put a Gaussian blur on there. I'm sorry, I do not know if that's how you say it, but. And press OK. And you see that makes it a little bit hazy. We go to blending options, and we go down to multiply, and we turn the opacity down. But this just adds a nice layer of contrast. And that is step one of how I edit my photos. But next, the big thing is we're going to take it into Lightroom, because I mean it looks really good on here, it does, but then when we go into Lightroom it kind of just brings it all together. And there are some harsh lines here that I want to get rid of. I don't like it. Okay, so yeah, so now we're going to save a copy of this on my computer at the highest quality possible, and we're going to open this up in Lightroom. Okay, I'm not allowed to edit. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and bring up this photo. I usually like to do this step on my phone, but for the sake of this video, we're going to do it on my laptop. So we're going to add the photo in. Go ahead and find it in here. I'm sorry guys, my desktop is really a mess. I really love that eyeball that just popped up. I'm really sorry guys. Okay, and we'll add that in. Just like that. Okay, from here, we're gonna put a preset on it, because presets kind of just bring it all together and I don't have to do any work. So, again, I get my presets either from fixthephoto.com for free, or I buy them off Etsy. And we'll just go ahead and try some out. So that one looks really good. I'm liking it. This one is a little too much contrast. That one looks really good, but I think I kind of want a matte one today. So I think I'm gonna try matte cool. Looks really phenomenal. Oh, matte film. Yeah, we're gonna go with matte film because that looks really phenomenal. And I'm really good with that. Then I like to just go into the effects. I like to add a little texture. Actually, yeah, a little texture. A little clarity, a little bit of dehazing, and a little bit of a vignette. I think that's how you say that. Just kind of pull it all together. Okay. Yeah, that looks really good. Now I'm going to go into, I'm not really familiar with editing on my laptop, so I'm not really sure where all these tools are. So give me 1 second, I just gotta find where I'm going in here. Scroll on down. Yeah, we're gonna change the optics, make sure that looks all good. We're gonna go to geometry. I like to make geometry, so I'm gonna really kind of push her face out like that, and we're gonna tilt it down so that her eyes are really looking at the camera. And yeah, I really like that. Okay, and we're gonna go into the healing because I just can't get over this harsh line that came from the overlay I put on there. See if I can kind of fix that. Yeah. Let's kind of try to fix that a little bit. The healing tool in Lightroom is not as good as Photoshop, so it's like if I screw something up and I want to try to fix it, it's kind of like you're just done. Okay. Alright guys, so here we go. Here is the finished photo from Juliet. Thank you so much for submitting this photo for me. I think I did it justice. I think it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments below, and let's move on to the next edit. This photo comes from Stella of Lavender AG. Here's her profile. She actually emailed me her photo for better quality, which is fantastic. It'll make for much better editing. Alright, here's the photo. As you can see, it's already really pretty, and she's in a nice flowy dress, which always makes for a beautiful photo. So with this one, there's not really, we're not going to do any major cutouts because the background's already stunning. So we're just going to work with what we got and just do some touch-ups. So first thing I'm going to do with this one is crop it. so it's the right size, because I like to work with 2x3s or 3x2s, and I want to move the doll closer. I think we're gonna put her, yeah, like that. Okay. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and first of all turn my screen up so I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I think we're gonna do some dodging and birding first, because her face is a little bit dark for working with. So I'm gonna go ahead and brighten up that face a little bit, and we're gonna brighten up those eyes. So brighten up that face, and let's go ahead and brighten up those pretty blue eyes that we have here. Those definitely need some lighting. Especially in a nice snowy photo, we could really use some nice bright eyes. See how much that looks. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Okay, so that looks good. Now we can go ahead and create a new layer, and I think we're just gonna do some adjustments. So we'll brighten it, add some contrast. Curves we don't need to do. We're gonna do some exposure, turn the exposure up, turn the offset a little bit up, and a little gamma correction. So that looks great. Okay, that looks good. I'm happy with that. So we're gonna flatten the image, and we're now gonna do some blurring. So we're gonna go to filter, blur gallery, tilt shift, because this is a really pretty background back here, but I really would like to see it blurred a little more. So I'm gonna go like this and like this. I'm gonna tilt it a little bit so it kind of follows her body, because her body's a little bit tilted. And move this down. Okay, I'm gonna turn the blur up a little bit and increase the light bokeh. Let's see, just a little bit. We can get some of this in there. There, let's try that. Just so we can get some, and maybe we could get some color in there too. No? Okay, that's fine. Okay. So I think, I mean, that didn't do too much. In fact, it actually kind of, yeah, okay, we'll get rid of that one. See, a lot of my editing is just kind of messing around, so. Okay, so from here, we're gonna go ahead and add a nice Caucasian blur. And then we're just gonna send this photo onto Lightroom, because there's not really much that I need to do in Photoshop for this one anymore. So it's just a nice simple one. Okay, just like that. Alright, so now we're gonna go ahead and file, save a copy. And we're gonna go open this up into Photoshop. We're gonna try some presets out. I think a nice preset will pull it all together. Like, that is beautiful. I like that a lot. One of these ones that really like brightens it up. Or we could go cold, which also looks really pretty. Oh, okay, but I'm actually really liking this one. I can't decide if I want to go warm or cold though. But I think we're gonna go, oh, that one looks really nice. I think we're gonna go either this one or this. Yeah, we're gonna go with this one. I like that one a lot. And we're gonna increase the texture a little bit, increase the clarity. We're going to dehaze a little bit. And we're gonna add a nice vignette. I'm gonna add I think we're gonna add a bright vignette, or maybe, yeah, yeah, we'll do a dark one. Okay. Do lens correction, and we're gonna now go on to geometry. I just like to kind of pop her out a little bit, and that looks good. Okay, all right, everybody, here's the finished photo. I'm actually really happy with that. I mean, it was a nice simple edit. The picture was already really pretty though, so that's why.
thank you for submitting this photo, and I hope I did it justice. Alright, moving on to the third edit. This one comes to us from Lizzie of Interstar Studios 13. She also emailed me hers for quality, which is great. So let's go ahead and open that up in Photoshop. This photo that she sent me is also really pretty, and it doesn't actually need that much done to it. It just needs some corrections, so we'll edit it in my style. So I'm trying to find the one, because I have one that she sent me earlier, which was super bad quality due to Instagram. Yeah, this one looks a lot better. So much better. Okay, so this looks really pretty. I love the light in this. It's so pretty. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do some dodging of her eyes and make them pop. So that pretty green will just pop out. Oops, I accidentally got it on her skin, but I think it's okay. Yep, that looks good. And they're actually going to just do, I think I'm going to do a one big whole dodge of her face. So I think her face is honestly a little bit dark, yeah. But that eye got a little too much there. There you go. Okay, and I'm going to just kind of lighten her up a little bit. Okay, now we're going to do some overall adjustments to the photo. So we'll create a new layer. We're going to go into brightness and contrast. Brighten it even, I'm going to brighten it just a little bit more. I think I might have overdid the eyes a little bit too much. So I think we'll probably have to go back into that, and we'll mess with the vibrance a little bit. And I think we're going to add a lot of vibrance, yeah. And a little bit of a little less saturation. Okay. That is looking good. We'll go ahead and merge that. And create a new layer. Ugh, this eye over here is bothering me, so actually I'm going to darken it a little bit because I overlightened it. It's really nice to work with like a photo that's not so pixelated due to Instagram, so I can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, I think that light will look a little better, and I think we're going to darken the pupil a little bit. I think that might look better. Let's see. I can't tell. I think we'll just go. I think we'll go with lighter. I think lighter will be better in this case. Okay, now we're gonna do some blurring of the background. So for this one, we're gonna use. I think we're gonna use iris blur, so we can put this around her. Yeah, and kind of just pull this in like this. That's around her. And add some light. I wish I would add light to the other side as well. Not too much though. I don't want it to be too much blurred. Just a little bit. And I think we'll add some color to that. Yeah, some nice blue. Let's see how much. Just a little bit more light coming off of her flowers. A little more blur. Okay, that looks good. Okay, now we will move this into Lightroom. This was another simple one where I didn't have to do too much. Now we'll go ahead and find a preset that works for this. I actually really like how that looks. Okay, wait, I actually kind of like brighter. It's very different looks when we're going for a matte preset versus like one of these bright ones. Very different looks, and sometimes they all look great, and then I just have to try to decide what I'm looking for. Okay, that's actually really pretty. So I don't know if I want to go cool. No, I don't think I want to go cool. Actually, I really like that. I think that's perfect. We're gonna go with that one. And we're gonna just go ahead and do geometry right away. Kind of pop her out a little bit and kind of go, yeah, we're gonna move it up a little bit in this case. So I kind of like how that looks. And we're gonna add some texture, even though there's already plenty. A little bit of clarity. Dehaze a little bit.
Add a little more of a a little bit of a vignette, not too much though. And I think that looks good.
So here is the finished photo from Lizzie. This photo that we're going to edit comes to us from All Dolled Up. She literally gave me these to choose from, and like, I don't know what she expects me to do with them because they're pretty much perfect already. So yeah, let's just see what we're gonna do to these. So there's like not much that needs to be done, and the background's already pretty. So what I think, I kind of have a plan of action for this. I don't know if I can pull this off, but we'll see. So I think what we're gonna do is make the doll, I'm sorry, I don't know the doll's name. I should probably go and look, but that's okay. We're gonna make the doll into a mermaid because I think, I mean, with this background and like, yeah, I think she would look pretty as a mermaid. So let's do that. So we're gonna go into my little area of overlays and find a mermaid tail. I know I have a bunch, I just have to find it. Okay, so I have this nice blue mermaid tail that I think will work. It will match the swimsuit top really good. And we're gonna just try to see if we can make this work. Instagram also ruined the quality of this, so that's wonderful. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and turn it a little bit. We're gonna have to make it a little bigger, and we're gonna have to kind of stretch it around her waist here, kind of following the outline of the swimsuit. We're gonna have to try to erase her legs first, actually. That would probably be the first thing we should do, which is going to be a pretty fun challenge here. So we're going to take some of these rocks. Oh, nope, didn't want to do that. Take some of these rocks and just kind of cover up this girl's legs. She doesn't need her legs anymore, I guess. Take some more of these rocks, cover up. I mean, it's looking kind of bad so far, but it's okay. It's gonna all come together. Take some more of this sand down here, kind of cover up this foot we have going on. Same, a little bit more over here. Get rid of all of that. Get a little bit more sand. Okay, that looks good enough. Good enough where the tail can come down. I think we're gonna do a little bit of blurring. Yeah, we're gonna blur this a little bit just so it doesn't look so... Yeah, I think that actually looks pretty natural. I think that's gonna work. So now we're gonna make a new layer, and now we can bring in this mermaid tail. And it's a little bit too long, so we're gonna have to do some editing with that, but I'm gonna make it big enough to fit around her waist for starters. And I will remove it so that her hand is not being, you know, cut off by the tail. Okay, so we're gonna put it like this. And we're gonna go into here, and I'm gonna zoom in a little bit, and we're gonna fit this to her waist, just to cover up the bottom of the swimsuit. And I don't want it to be too big, so... Okay, I know this is looking bad so far, but don't worry about it. And then we're gonna kind of move up this tail. Move this tail up here. Don't need it to be so big, but unfortunately that's kind of how it's going right now. Now, I'm not really good at this advanced editing yet, so just bear with me. Because it's just not at a side view, you know? So it doesn't work too good. I think actually, we'll keep that mermaid tail, but I'm wondering if this other one that I have might work better. So we're gonna actually, I'm gonna see if I can find a different mermaid tail in here. If we can find this stuff, actually it'd probably be in backdrops and overlays here. Yeah, this tail is more from a side view. It's just gonna be trying to cut that tail out. That's gonna be an issue.
is I don't think I have it. Yeah, I don't have one without the background, but that would work a lot better. So I think we're gonna try that because it's actually from a nice side view. Okay, that's actually not bad. Like I'm not mad at that. That's like fine, I guess. Shift the edge, we'll smooth it a little bit because it is really kind of bad. Like cutout wise, it's a little bit shaky. Oh, that's not good. And that's looking a little better. Yeah, it's looking a little better. And then we can just go ahead and remove this little thing off to here because we don't need that. We don't need this little thing. Photoshop's gonna be a little bit slow while working with all of this, so we can get rid of this tail because that tail's not gonna work. And we'll go ahead and bring this tail in, see if it'll work a little bit better because it's from a side view. Yeah, that I already can tell is gonna be much better. Much better. So we're gonna keep it nice and small like this, I think. Yeah, and then we'll kind of stretch it to fit around the legs and the waist. We'll kind of stretch this down a little bit. And we'll stretch this across and up, yeah, like that. And now we're gonna kind of, yeah, stretch it down so that it fits to her legs, top of the legs that we still have there. I think we'll probably just erase a little bit over there. And we'll move this down a little bit. Actually, no, we won't. I'm gonna remove her legs over there a little bit. Okay, so now we have that, which isn't too bad. And I'm gonna do a little bit of erasing. I'm gonna do a little bit of erasing because this photo is gonna take me like the longest of any of them that I've done so far, but that's okay. We're gonna turn the opacity down now a little bit so that I can see where this girl's hand is, as well as these rocks, and we're gonna get rid of the tail over here by the rocks because she's sitting behind the rock. Can turn this up again. I think what I'm going to do now, just so that this doesn't get too long, is that I'm going to edit it and then come back, because otherwise this video is going to be way too long. Alright guys, I finished the editing in Photoshop, and now I took the liberty of opening it up in Lightroom. So now we're going to go ahead and try some presets out. Okay, definitely not that. Just pretend you didn't see that one. I need one. Okay, that one looks pretty good. Oh, I actually really like that. I think we might go with that one. But I also like that. I just end up liking too many of them. But I don't want one with too much contrast because it is so grainy from over editing and being sent through Instagram. So I think we're gonna go with this. And then we're gonna go to this. We're gonna do some noise reduction and color noise reduction to give it a smoother look, because
I did make it kind of grainy, so. Okay. I'll do that. Make it look a little bit. Alright, I think I'm gonna be done with that one, just because, yeah, I think it's done. So this definitely isn't my best work, but I did make her into a mermaid. So yeah, that's the final photo for All Dolled Up. Hope you like it.